Alright, what up, people? First off, Bing Bong. Now, it's been about a week or so since this new evidence has been released regarding this Tory trial. And the thing is, does anybody care? Is it gonna make any difference? Let's talk about it. Now, some new evidence has come out. I gotta say new in quotations because it's really some of the same evidence has been repackaged up nicely, but we'll get to that. What seemed to trigger it is this new testimony. That's the only new thing, really, is this testimony from Kelsey's bodyguard. The bodyguard alleges that he overheard Kelsey telling someone that she, in fact, was the shooter. The bodyguard's reasoning for this is that he just couldn't rest on his conscience, knowing that he has information that could potentially help free someone. So it's like he knows that this person shouldn't be in jail. And maybe, just maybe, this was exacerbated by the fact that Tory had just got stabbed up. Now, TMZ got the footage, which I'm about to show you, but let me just, trigger warning and all that. This is some violent-ish. Now, does someone empathize with the bodyguard? I mean, if I knew this happened and it's like, damn, yo, I know some information that kind of proves that this dude shouldn't be in jail, and now he's getting stabbed up, that's going to weigh heavier on my chest. Now, I don't know if that's the case with the bodyguard, but hey, it seems to line up that way. Now, getting back to this new evidence, it's been repackaged on this site called 36 Hours Later. Now, we do have a governor, I forgot what her name is, but she's rallying for Tory being pardoned. One could say this is just a political play, the same way how Trump was pardoning all these rappers and whatnot to kind of get the black community behind him. That's a whole nother discussion in itself. But I have to say the site did repackage the evidence and, lay out a strong enough argument for people to really question the narrative. Now, of course, if you wholeheartedly team Megan, then it's not going to do anything to deter you. And if you're team Tory, you was already thinking that he didn't do it anyway. But if you're just an objective, onlooker, I mean, you have to take this into consideration. It all looks a little bit crazy. So like I said, here's the site, 36hourslater.com. You can go check it out yourself, but this is pretty much what you're going to see when you get there. At the very top, click here to help free Tory and sign a petition. There's this big petition going around in free Tory Lanez. Skimming over this, they have really put this together well to make any normal person think, hey man. One thing that always struck me about this case, and they've actually put it on this website, this interview that Meg did with Gail. Let me see if it's actually, you get to watch it here.
I never put my hands on anybody. I never raised my voice too loud. Like, this was one of them times where it was like, it shouldn't have got this crazy.
It shouldn't have escalated to the way that it did.
So I get out the car and it's like everything happens so fast. Yes. And all I hear is this man screaming. He said, dance, and he started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, he shot a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. What was always crazy about that interview to me is the performative aspect of it. When someone's doing all of that, that's when it starts becoming more disingenuous to me. She looked at Gail, and we later on found out that, she lied about having any sort of intimate or sexual relations with Tory. And a lot of people was like, what does that have to do with anything? What does her sex life have to do with anything? But it does have something to do with your character. If you can get a bold face in front of this lady, tears in your eyes, by the way, and bold face lie like that, you gotta wonder, what else can this person lie about? And you hear this story that she paints. I mean, it makes Tory look a particular way to further solidify her as the victim. The thing here is, and this is what I've noticed is a tactic a lot that women use, and I don't even want to say that she's using it here, but it appears that way. Women play the victim card all the time because it's very easy to villainize men, and it's very easy to absolve yourself of any accountability of the situation when you play the victim. I'm the victim here. I did nothing to exasperate this situation, to provoke the situation, nothing. And that's not normally the case, because anybody, listen, I grew up in the hood, anybody from the hood, it don't even gotta be from the hood. You go to a party, everybody been drinking, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to I don't mean to be stereotypical or profile or whatever, but Meg Thee Stallion is a hood bitch. She's a ghetto ass. Let's be real about it. And she out here, you can tell the content of her character because she, first of all, she's sleeping with her friend's dude, unbeknownst to the friend that she's hanging out with. Imagine, we're all hanging out together. I'm in your face, knowing that I've been smashing dude. We're all here together. And that's supposed to be your best friend. That already says something about her character. There's already all these rumors, and fair enough, they're just rumors, that she's been a drunk. Mind you, she confirms this herself in some of the posts that she's put up on internet. Once again, being a victim and, you know, needing sympathy or all that. She said she had problems with alcohol or whatever. She put it in one of her songs. I'm not gonna bother looking for that clip right now. You know, people say she's a bad drunk, allegedly, of course. I kind of believe that because, listen, in my DJ life, I've had to meet loads of different types of drunks, and some of them just be on this belligerent kind of hostile, you know, they got this thing about them, especially the ghetto ones. Usually the ghetto ones, these ghetto women who feel a particular way, who feel a certain level of empowerment, they start wilding out when they've been drinking. So to say that she did nothing to provoke that situation, especially some of the information that's come out about the story, or about the fact that Kelsey found out Tory was out here trying to be, you know, he was violating a little bit too, because he smashed both of them, and then he trying to smash, once again, allegedly. Well, he did smash both of them, but the allegedly comes in him trying to smash Kylie Jenner, because remember, this kicked off when they were at Kylie's. If you want me to believe that Meg did nothing, Meg did not smack up Kelsey or try to smack Tory or try to get violent or start acting up, come on, dog. Come on, bro. Not to say she's not a victim in any way, but I think we need to start drawing the lines, and we need to start adding context to things. If I go antagonizing somebody, harassing somebody, and finally they punch me in my face, yeah, I'm a victim of them punching me in my face, but let's not ignore the fact that I antagonized them. Let's not forget the fact that, you know, maybe I was doing a little stupid shit like, yeah, you're not gonna do nothing, yeah, poking them, and finally they're like, bitch. Yeah, I'm a victim, but I'm not some innocent, helpless victim, which is the role that a lot of, every time we see a news story, that's the role that these women play. Once again, not to say that that isn't the case for some women. I just don't think it's the case here for Meg Thee Stallion. I mean, when you go visit the website yourself, you'll see that there's a witness testimony that wasn't part of the trial that kind of lays out the story for you. Or gives you a better insight into what really could have happened that day. And it's a far cry from what Meg said in her Gayle King interview. Now, with all of this being said, and with all of this out here now, because once again, it is some interesting evidence and stuff. And to be fair, I've never seen that body cam footage before. Some of the body cam footage that's on this website. The question is, does anybody care? This has been going on for so long now. Does it change the narrative? I hope it does, because somewhere in between what Tory's saying and what Meg's saying, somewhere in between there is what really happened. I don't believe it's completely what Tory's saying, except other than the fact that I think he's not guilty of shooting Meg. There's so much stuff that seems to go against that. Meg's character is heavily in question. She's doing a lot she had to save her, she had to protect her image, of course, and protect her career, but I don't think it's looking good for her right now. Now, me personally, I do think that this is an important case because it sends a more social message. As it stands, a woman can say anything about a man right now, and that's it. His reputation and everything is down the toilet without due process. This Tory case looks like a railroading, and for whatever reason he contributed to that because he never took the stand himself. Now, I don't know what his legal strategy was. Clearly it was a bad one. This would be an important win for men around the world who are indicted over things that they didn't necessarily do, and that's not good when it happens to anyone, because this happens to women too, but when it happens to men, it is so much easier to say, yep, he's the villain, he's guilty, without anyone actually going through the process of finding out, oh yeah, he did yell at her, but he actually didn't do anything to her. Or he grabbed her and was like, bitch, what you doing? Not because he's super violent, because 30 seconds ago, she was just smacking the shit out of him. Like, you know, there's little nuances that we tend to overlook. And I think this case, if Tory does get exonerated, if that's the right word, then maybe then that will start shifting the social awareness over to, hey man, we gotta really actually apply due process when it comes to men, because they're just not all. It shouldn't be so easy to villainize men. Maybe I rambled on about this too much. You guys, let me know what y'all think about it. And of course, if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. I'm DJ Pretty Boy, and if you did enjoy this video, well, you know, help me grow the channel with a like or a subscribe or a share or something of that nature. And of course, feel free to jump into the comments and give me feedback or throw your opinion around. See you in the next video.